sevens competition. New Zealand, if you know anything about sports in New Zealand, you know the haka is a big part of their rugby culture.
Yeah, the haka is obviously, it's a Maori war dance, but it's also, we use the haka as a celebration of victory. To do it, it's just, I guess it's a great feeling, like, especially we do it after we win.
So you want to take the field and take those guys on?
Well, it's interesting. The 7-a-side team only does it after they win a tournament. The New Zealand All Blacks do it before you play them, and it is intimidating.
And obviously the 15 side, the New Zealand All Blacks, the legendary team from New Zealand. And big part, though, the 7's now, you know, not only aspiring to be that, but getting there. Gordon Titchens has become somewhat of a legendary figure now, their head coach.
Well, absolutely. And we saw this is a very successful businessman who has turned his attention parallel tracks. Not only is he successful in business, but also commanding this New Zealand 7's program, which has been dominant since the development of the World Series.
And he's got over 500 wins, Titchens does, in what has been a terrific career. New Zealand just keeps rolling. When you look at the history, 7's World Series. It's been played 11 times. New Zealand has won it on 8 occasions.
That's unprecedented. If you want to make the analogy of the early 20s and 30s Yankees, yeah, there you go. Ahead and do it.
Titchens, as I mentioned, over 500 wins, also the 4 Commonwealth titles, and now looking to win once again here in the World Series in 2011. They've won a couple of events already, and they're tied at the top with 64 points, along with England, who we've seen they can be dominant as well. It's a pretty darn good matchup, but New Zealand, the experience of having been there and done that.
Absolutely, and they're coming up now with Kenya, a country that's emerging in this world of 7's. They don't play much in the way of 15s, but we met the Kenyans years ago in Los Angeles. They were very much stickmen and developed athletically and as a nation all the way through the 7's programs. You'll see some big, strong men from Kenya today.
Gordon Titchens, the man who leads the way, though, for New Zealand. Marty Snyder caught up with him earlier.
Well, Terry, New Zealand coach Gordon Titchens, one of the greats in the sport, and your team playing so well. 2 tournament wins in a row. Why are you playing so well?
Yeah, I think we've got, you know, to a really good fitness place. We're very, very fit at the moment. We've worked really hard back in New Zealand, and we came off the George tournament, you know, with a lot of confidence. You know, then we had our nationals in New Zealand, and I picked a lot of new players, 7 new players, and when you always pick, you know, new players, they come with lots of enthusiasm, and I've got that core group of experienced players, which they obviously learn from, and they're going to be guided by them. But otherwise, that's just good team performances, really, in those both 2 tournaments.
One of those young stars, Declan O'Donnell, 20 years old, 10 tries last week, a hat-trick in the finals. Did that come as a surprise to you?
Yeah, no, I've seen glimpses of his outstanding play from time to time, and he's a youngster coming through. He's learning the game all the time, and he played exceptionally well in Wellington. I mean, it was an outstanding performance. I mean, he scored some wonderful tries, 3 in the final, and hopefully we can continue that here.
Declan O'Donnell, one of the young stars to watch, guys.
That's been terrific so far, and including that hat-trick in New Zealand last week. Play last week in New Zealand, this week Las Vegas. Take a couple of weeks off before the rest of the circuit. There are 8 events in all as we check out New Zealand players getting ready to take the field here at Sam Boyd Stadium. 64 points overall, and tied at the top with England. Samoa right behind. They'll take on the U.S. next.
Yeah, you take a look. England got off to that great start in Dubai, but here comes New Zealand. They won in South Africa, and again back home in Wellington last week. So they're coming on strong, and that's nothing new about New Zealand 7-a-side rugby.
Dave, you've been around this sport for a long time. You know it's a bit of a different culture. The fans who come week in, week out to take in the action, and the players who play it. So many different traditions. The haka, one of them for New Zealand, but also at every match, just the fact that both of the teams, like soccer, I guess, they run out side by side, come out of that same area of the locker room together.
Well, it's still known as a gentleman's game, and these men running out together, and it's interesting they leave together almost back to that same tunnel. So the war will begin, but it's set for a specific period of time, and they go back to being gentlemen at its conclusion.
New Zealand enters any tournament as the favorite, or at least the co-favorite, and that is true here as well. Check out the starting 7 for New Zealand, including Declan O'Donnell.
10 tries last week, and what a way to make your mark in this game. We've seen Ben Gollings, the old man with the tries, Declan O'Donnell, the new man with the tries.
How about the starting 7 now for Kenya? They come in tied for 10th overall in the standings in the World Series.
And let's keep an eye on number 6 down there at the bottom, Humphrey Kayang. He's going to be playing prop for them, but he is a big, strong runner, and he's also one of the great ambassadors of the game. Humphrey was part of the delegation that sold the IOC on returning the game to the Olympics.
Declan O'Donnell, though, has burst onto the scene, basically plucked from obscurity 9 weeks ago by Gordon Titchens. Here he is, tied for first overall with 17 tries in the World Series. We're underway, Kenya taking on New Zealand.
A couple of years ago in San Diego, the Kenyans beat the New Zealand side 24-7. So we have high expectations of what they might do in this match.
And New Zealand with 4 points last week, which they earned in New Zealand, did not have a point in either of the 2 opening events, Dubai or South Africa. Also a team, though, that has become hugely popular. They've got fans all over the world, and we'll hear from them this afternoon in Las Vegas. There are a lot of people here to cheer for Kenya.
Well, they're standing up across the way, right away from us, and they are loud, and they are up, and they are colorful.
Seago started this. They get it out wide towards that 10-meter line. Hard tackle by New Zealand, though. Starts it, though, back this way as they regroup, form the attack on the near side.
It's amazing what Kenya has done in these last few years. They've turned themselves into world favorites, and they've done so by playing very well, too.
Little 3-man weave that time. Looked like the old Globetrotters.
Yep. Took it into tackle. Still, Kenya doing a nice job of maintaining the possession, which is what they're going to need to do all day. If they turn over against this New Zealand side, they'll be standing on the try line waiting to see conversions.
It's a fully amateur team on the field for Kenya, as opposed to the New Zealand side, which obviously a lot of veterans, and this is what they do. Humphrey Kayang, whose brother is also a star, Collins and Jera, on this side. They've got a break and a chance to get there. To the try zone, the touch, and it's Kenya on the board first. Collins and Jera gets it from his brother, Humphrey Kayang.
97 career tries. Just a good dance away from the tackle and has the pace to take the ball to the house, if you will. Touchdown to Kenya.
Not a bad 1-2 punch with 2 brothers. They may have different names, but, well, they work together awfully well. Second leading scorer in Jera, right behind Kayang, excuse me, David. Now the 2-point conversion from a tough angle, though.
That's, again, where the ball was placed down, the touchdown, if you will, the try in the end zone. Collins and Jera got this crowd up in a hurry. Nice pass, back inside, missed tackle. And you can see right there how difficult it is to make that open field tackle with a player coming with full pace.
And listen to the crowd. They've got songs going on the entire time that this match is underway. Might put a little pressure on New Zealand.
How about that? That's a virtually an unforced error, a missed restart kick, and that's going to give, well, let's see, I believe it might have been the, yes, a knock-on on Kenya. Yeah, let's see Humphrey, you see him on the left side of the Kenyan scrum after the knock-on on Kenya.
Gordon Titchens, always an ambassador for this sport, just his name being mentioned, certainly part of that. But as you brought up earlier, Kayang, literally an ambassador for Rugby 7's, pitched it to the IOC in Copenhagen, and eventually that proved successful, and it will be in Rio.
Well, I'll tell you what, the pesky Kenyan defense making the All Blacks turn it over, but still, with advantage, the Kenyans are going to go into attack, and they've got some men on this side.
They've got 4 men on this side, have numbers, but tough tackle by New Zealand. There goes a Seago.
That is a beautiful pass crossfield. A lot more difficult than it looks, folks.
Oscar Auma into touch. Out of bounds.
New Zealand will have the throw-in on the line-out. They declined the option for quick throw-in. There were Kenyans all around, so it'll be a more standardized line-out, 3-on-3. And the ball must be thrown down the center of that tunnel Kenya returned to 7 completed passes early today. I'm impressed with Kenya's defense as well.
New Zealand, which has won this title a couple of times, one in Las Vegas, or in this USA 7's back in 05. Nice slip pass out. Lotte Rakambula.
But the Kenyan defense covers, and the takeaway right in front of the Kenyan fans. Oh, what an opportune moment to be a Kenyan fan in the stadium, making a big tackle to save a try. One of the options, kick it ahead. He was onside. Brilliant by the Kenyans.
Iko Adima loses it. New Zealand now, and a whistle.
Isn't that lovely? See that again. You have the option in this game, if your player's behind you, to chip it ahead, kick it ahead, and he can run underneath and catch it. It was a beautiful kick pass, if you will, by Kenya, but not enough. They couldn't move it down the field. Fun stuff. Now the scrum, Tomasi Thama.
The instructions from Jason Jota, the referee who's from South Africa, working this match. Wired for sound today.
Infringement. Thama with a nice dummy move. He sold it well, but he's being chased to the corner, man. Make a difference on the conversion.
No chance to catch him, man. Tomasi Thama, the 30-year-old who was born in Fiji, their ultimate playmaker, the guy who starts it all, this time finishes it.
Well, the little nuance here, after the infringement on the scrum, Thama with the quick tap, you can do that, moves the ball down the field. But credit the Kenyans, they didn't let him take the ball underneath the sticks. They moved him wide. Let's see about this conversion.
Tough angle, no good.
The little things make the big difference. Great effort by the Kenyans to realize they were giving up the try, but they weren't going to give them the extra 2. And now that's why we're knotted at 5.
Thama, bit of a gym rat. Loves rugby, will talk it 24/7. Watches it, plays it obviously, and basically lives it.
Well, I tell you, Terry, it's a great opportunity to observe the fact that rugby conversions are not taken for granted. They are a big deal.
New Zealand quickly putting it into play. Didn't wait at all on the run out.
You have that option. New Zealand known for playing a high tempo type of game designed to wear out their opponents. They are absolutely wonderfully fit. As you mentioned, a totally professional team. And a penalty against Kenya, going over the top, losing their legs.
Great opportunity right now for New Zealand. Numbers to this side, got the sideline, forget about it. Solomon King, can he get close to the middle? He touches down for 5.
Nice work by New Zealand Rugby, part of their tactics, having a look at one way and using it quickly the other.
King, who's been in and out of the lineup with injuries, healthy now, takes it in. Not a terrible angle coming up on the conversion, but Gordon Tichen's squad kind of takes that early knockout from Kenya, who got on the board first, weathered that, and now takes the lead. You see no time left on the scoreboard. They play until the ball is dead. Once the horn sounds, conversion coming up. The attempt, Tomasi Thama. No good.
Still a great half for the Kenyans, and a challenge ahead for both teams.
In for the try. That's a phrase you hear often when New Zealand takes the field. They're up, but it's competitive.